What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am Derek. This is Euro Superbike Life, or ESBKLife for short. Today we are installing our Shift Power full race unit, so quick shifter, auto blipper, and a bunch of other things on the S1000RR track bike. I know you guys want to see more content of the other bikes, but there's nothing wrong with those bikes. I just ride them. They are 99 to 100% done. So I just ride them. And my track bike is the one that I am constantly tweaking stuff on. So it's the one that gets the most love on my channel. That's why we see most of the stuff on there. But anyway, let's jump right into this install. It should be pretty easy and relatively quick. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so we are over at my desk. This is my Shift Power Race Unit Pro. You can see there is the part number, and it's good from 2009 to 2013. We're going to do a quick unboxing to see what's in here. Okay, so we have our auto-blipper warm-up switch. I believe that turns on and off the auto-blip, the auto-blip warm-up feature. We have our control unit here that's in a pad. We'll take the pad off real quick so you guys can see the unit itself. So you can see the full Race Unit Pro. Launch control, quick shifter, up and down, pit lane speed limiter, and auto blipper warm-up. We have some controls here on the side, and then we have our part number on the back. We have our wiring harness and loom. So this plugs directly into our ignition coils. Then we have another plug for our throttle position sensor. We have our ground connection. We have our plug where the original quick shifter plugs into, so this connects into that port. And this is the only wiring we have to do. This wire plugs into our rear wheel speed sensor. So we got a posi tap on that. We just need to tap into that. But other than that, it is pretty much plug and play. We have some Velcro stickers there for that. We have some stickers here, some Shift Power stuff, blah, blah, blah. Here is probably our shift rods. So yes, so they can provide any length of shift rods that you need. So we have our quick shifter auto blipper unit itself here. It is multi-directional, that way it can do both sides. And we have some zip ties, and then we have our shift rod. So depending on what you're running for rear sets, if you're running stock rear sets, if you're running aftermarket rear sets, they can provide the shift rod length that you need. So you just need to, when you order that or order this, you just need to tell them which length you need. I am running attack rear sets, but I'm running the stock quick shifter. So I ordered the stock length rod here in unit, so that'll just plug in. If I wanted something longer or shorter, they would have sent that. So there we go. Now let's head on over to the bike and start getting this stuff installed. As you can see, we are starting with the fairings already removed. You can install this unit on a stock bike, and if you're doing that, then your setup will definitely be a little bit different than mine, as I've already removed a bunch of stuff that may be in your way and you may need to do some other things. But at the very least, we need to get all of the fairings off the bike. And because this unit connects to our ignition coils, we need to get the air box out of the way. Now, I've already gone ahead and uninstalled and removed everything. The air box is literally just sitting on top of here. But let me put this camera down. I'll get another one set up and we can start removing stuff. Okay, so as I said, your setup may be a little bit different. This is pretty straightforward. We need to remove the air box. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead and removed our ECU unit. I've disconnected the upper secondary injectors. They just need to pull back out of the way. In fact, the air box is actually already disconnected as well. There's a screw here, another one here, and then two exactly on the opposite side. I've already disconnected our velocity stack valve here, or servo motor. So everything's really ready to just come out. So let me just go ahead and remove the air box here. So we'll just pull this out. We'll set this over here. So now we can get to our coils. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need to get to those. We'll also need to get to our throttle position sensor, which I have sort of relocated to here. So we'll need to unclip that so that we can get to it. We'll need to get to our stock quick shifter, which is here. So this connection here, we'll need to disconnect that. And then the only other thing is, I've already have some pigtails over here, but this is where our rear wheel speed sensor tap is. And if I come over to this side of the bike, this is the line to our speed sensor. So you can see that it runs all the way back down to there. It's here, runs under here, and comes up over here where these two pigtails is. Now, you may have a little bit difficulty getting to this if you have your power steering pump, Jesus Christ. If you have your ABS pump still in place, your ABS pump would go here, and it's kind of big and bulky, and this unit would sort of be mounted vertically, like here. So all of these things might be in your way if you're trying to get to this sensor right here. So those go like that there. And this would normally sit under your seat in the little, I won't call it trunk area, but normally there's an area for things to sit up under your rear seat, under the rear cowl. I don't have a rear cowl, so this will sort of, I'll have to figure out how I mount it and have it here so that I can access it. But I'm thinking it'll be here, and I can access it from the panel underneath at the track and so forth if I need to adjust things. We'll run it down and around like so. This is our battery ground cable. It will go here. This is for our connector to our normal quick shifter. It will plug into here, so we have good length there, and then the rest is up here. So let's pull these back out of the way. There we go. So these are the connectors for our 4 coils. Now, according to the install manual, as you can see, they're in pairs. So 1 set, 2 set, 3 sets, 4 sets. I'm told it doesn't matter which set goes to which as long as you connect them in pairs. So if I decide to connect this to the number 1 coil, then so be it. If I decide this to connect to the number 2 coil, so be it, and I can connect this to the number 1 coil. I don't think that makes sense, but we'll connect these going across, and then we should be all set. All right, so now we need to start disconnecting our ignition coils. So I'm going to connect, actually, let's do it this way. So I'm going to connect this first pair on the end all the way over here to number 4. So it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of hard to mess up, but there's a connector here that connects directly to the coil, and then the other end connects to the wiring harness. So we just plug this, the clip, make sure that it's all the way in there and seated, and then the other end, we push in and make sure it's all the way in there and seated. Now we're going to go across. We'll take the next pair, this pair here, and connect here. So again, in there and seated. Now again, if you're using a stock bike, there's undoubtedly more stuff here. There's probably a charcoal canister. There's the secondary air injection system called the pair valve, and that's probably in your way. You'll need to remove all of that. So again, this is a track bike. All the emissions control devices have already been removed. You need to make sure they're all seated properly. And then the last set, which is buried under here, which could be a pain in the ass to get to. All right. So now I just need to figure out how to properly zip tie these things so that these wires aren't getting caught in the fan or anything down there. But the ignition coils are all connected. So now I need to get some wire snips. And we have our plug-in here for our throttle position sensor. So I just need to free it up. So we got our throttle position sensor unmounted. So now we'll go ahead and squeeze the tabs without the steering wheel in the way. We'll go ahead and squeeze the tabs and disconnect it. We'll take our connections here. And again, we will run them down. That's going to go up and over, so we'll have them under here. We'll pass them through. I don't know if I'll pass them through the hole or go underneath. Just need to find areas that make sense. Okay, so now we have our connections. So it's pretty simple. This is from our shift power, so one end goes here, the other one go here. It's really hard to mess up. So we'll connect that one like that. The other end will go here. We'll connect that. Make sure it clicks like so. And now that there are two of them, I can't just sit one here, so I'll need to figure out how I zip tie those together so that it makes sense. One could go on here, probably this one will go on there like that, and the next one I'll need to zip tie here like so, some kind of way. So now we got our ground cable. I should have probably mentioned this before we started doing this, but always make sure your battery is disconnected. You don't want to be doing any electrical work with your battery connected, so make sure that's disconnected. So let me get, looks like a 4mm Allen so we can connect our ground cable. Now again, if you just have a standard battery or a standard lithium ion, you won't have this, but because I have a quick disconnect, my connections are done like this. And by the way, the debate is still out on this speed cell battery. I got this because of its small form factor and it's light. It's obviously lithium battery. But the problem with this guy is unlike all my other lithium batteries, I can use a standard battery charger. So if you look back here on the floor, there's a battery charger on the ground there. And all of my bikes, all three of these bikes, except for my wife's Can-Am, all of these bikes have lithium batteries in them, and I can use standard chargers for all of these. I cannot use a standard charger for this speed cell battery. They have a very specific charger that you need to use. That's about $130 before shipping or tax or anything like that. So it makes it kind of pricey because the battery is kind of pricey as well. But the nice thing is this doesn't drain like the other batteries. So as long as I disconnect it, they say that it will take like, I don't know, like 5 or 10 years for it to drain below a level that you can't use it. So as long as I disconnect it every time I don't use the bike, then it should be fine. The problem is disconnecting it every time I'm not using the bike, which can be a pain in the ass. So if I have a, I don't know, 4 or 5 hour ride to the track, I got to load up the bike, disconnect the battery, drive there. I don't want it connected for 4 or 5 hours while I'm driving. So I looked into a quick battery disconnect, so I could just disconnect it. The one from SpeedCell is really pricey. They want about $100 for it, but there are plenty of others that I can get. So right now, this isn't a big deal. I just take the tail section off, pull the quick disconnect plug, and then I'm good to go. Anyway, I digress. Now let's go back over here and make our connection for our rear wheel speed sensor. So again, that is down here. It's kind of hard to see, but I have my pigtails already connected. I will disconnect those because we actually don't need both of those. So our speed sensor is, here we go. Our speed sensor is here, this unit here. So we'll need to disconnect the top. It's a pinch and pull up. So you can see, there we go. Pulled those up. So I'll disconnect both of those posi taps and then I'll show you which wire we're going to use. All right, so according to the manual, as you can see, we have, get my glasses on here. So we have two wires. There's a black wire with a white stripe, and then there's a black wire with a brown stripe. We want the black wire with the brown stripe. So pretty simple. We take our posi tap, so now the only thing left to do is connect our actual quick shifter here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the bike up so I don't have to bend over, and we'll get that connected. Bike is raised up on the lift. We have access to our quick shifter over here. So what we need to do is we need to disconnect the quick shifter harness here. So I am going to pinch and pull that off there. Now we need to disconnect our quick shifter. If I have to remove the rear set, then I will, but I really don't want to. And because this has limited space, I may have to. Loose enough that I can remove by hand now. It is. Here we go. And now I can remove this one. There. I need to grab my wire cutters so we can snip the connection here. And now, in theory, so the stock quick shifter is off. Now I can pull this out. Like so. And now I'll probably have something else I could sell. I'll need to determine, that the shift power unit works first before I sell this. But as you guys know, I just bought this. This is a pre-owned unit. You can see there's a little bend in here. Oops, can't see it. So there's a little bend here in the rod. I don't know if you guys can see that as I rotate it. There's a little bend in the rod. But I just got this one, and had I known I was going to get the shift power, probably would have saved myself a few dollars by not getting this and putting that money toward the shift power. But nevertheless, this unit is off. We can install the new shift power stuff. Okay guys, so here are my quick shifters. All I did was take this off, measure its overall length. Then I put the new unit back together and I made sure that its length was the same. So now this is ready to go back in the bike. So let's do that now. Okay, so we are going to run. I don't need to run this cable through there. So we'll slide you through there like that. Rotate, this will go up like so. All right, so now the fun part, getting all these screws back in here. I really should have just removed the this rear set. It would have made life so much easier. why would I want to make things easy for myself? It's on there. So now, all right. So now, maybe I will run this through there. That way I can, yeah, I am going to run this through here. That. So now I just need to route the wires here properly. This will come down and plug into here. Plug this one into here like that. Kind of hard to do this with one hand. There we go. That plugs into there. So now the other connector, where are you? This guy here, he plugs into our quick shifter that we disconnected. Holding this guy. All right, sorry about that. All right, so this guy here from our shift power control box plugs into our quick shifter port here. So we'll just make that connection. I'll try to do that with one hand. I cannot. Bear with me, sorry. There we go, like that. So he's all connected. All right, now what I need to do is I need to zip tie all of this stuff together and just clean it up. And I also need to install our on-off switch. So let me do that, and then we can wrap up because I think this install is just about done. All right, guys, so I think we're just about done here. Let me show you what I did off screen here. So I just tidied everything up with some zip ties so that we're all nice and snug. I left myself plenty of slack here. There's also slack here for the quick shifter, so you can see that we move it in either direction. We don't have any binding on the cable. And I also installed the switch. I'll need to adjust this once I get all the body and everything on here, but we have the auto-blipper warm-up switch there. The only thing else I need to do here is I'll probably need to install some type of plate so that it'll mount like this to the under the plate, and then once I remove the panel for the tail section, I'll be able to get to this and into the buttons here, and as well as see the display here. But the install is done. Again, pretty simple. Everything else is all set. I just need to reinstall the air box, reconnect everything, plug in the battery, and then configure this because I'm running GP shift. So I need to configure it and go through that process. That is probably not going to happen for a while because I need to install our velocity stack upgrade here. And I still need to get the Bren tuning ECU flash as well. So that is probably some time away. So for right now, we're done. I don't know when I'll get to the other stuff. Also, I will leave a link in the description below to the install instructions from Shift Power as well. They also have a really good video installed on, well, it's on an S1000RR, but I don't think it's on this year bike. You can also go to their website or in the link that I provided below and watch their video. It's very thorough. It goes through all the stuff that we did here for the install, but pretty simple, pretty straightforward, easy to do, easy to set up. So I am Derek. This is your Superbike Life. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, or smash it if you're into that kind of stuff. Until next time, guys, take care.